links as we go. There's already a few in there for you guys to check out. I've also uploaded a couple of handouts under the handout section that are available for you to download. One is about speaking to CoVet in a way that will optimize your records, and the other one is about custom templates and custom instructions. Not really relevant to what we're talking about today, but there if you would like them.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Rebecca. So yeah, just to give you the lay of the land for today, like first, we're going to give you a bit of an overview about teams and why they matter. We'll show you how to set up a team and what considerations you have to take into account when you are setting up a team. Then we'll go through some basic principles in terms of workflows, and then we're going to do 3 specific examples. So Rebecca and I are going to illustrate using multiple accounts at the same time how a workflow could work in a small animal clinic that leverages team medicine and support staff, and then maybe another workflow with an emergency clinic in mind. And last but not least, kind of a large animal ambulatory type scenario. And I'm hopeful that one or multiple of those will be relevant to you. And as mentioned, if you have questions, just put them in the question tab and we'll do our best to cover them. Anytime we have left at the end, of course, we'll throw the floor open to questions as well. So I think to start, really, the question is like, why do we even need teams? And I'm not sure how many people out there have a team set up right now, but I think one of the main reasons is just so that you can collaborate with your colleagues on a case. And you know, your colleagues could be another veterinarian, or it could be support staff. And so you can have different people in different roles contributing to cases. You know, I think especially when it comes to team medicine and having veterinarians and technicians or VAs and CSRs work together, it really increases overall efficiency. And that's obviously something that we want to foster. In addition to that, it allows you to share content. So if everybody is joined on a team, you can do things like sharing templates you've created or sharing snippets you've created. And we're actually adding more and more features where you'll be able to automatically share things across the team. I know being able to customize the PDF and the look of any thing you save in CoVet and output as a PDF is coming soon. You'll be able to share that as well. Another one is basically centralizing billing. And I think that's something Rebecca will cover quite a bit as we go through the team setup. But as opposed to having everybody pay their own individual accounts on different payment methods, if you do this all properly through a team, you can centralize it to one payment method. So, you know, frankly, I guess in summary, I'd say that setting your clinic up with a team is recommended for virtually any clinic where you have more than one person using CoVet. So with that said, we'll kind of start with the basics. So I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca. She's going to go through kind of recommended team setups and how to set up a team.
All right, I'm just going to share my screen with you guys here. Just a moment. All right, so that looks good. Okay, so I am signed into a support staff account here. So what we usually recommend for team setup is, if you're a regular GP, is one team per hospital. If you're working in a hospital that has multiple departments, or even just like if you have a mixed animal practice and you have a team that does large animal and a team that does small animal, you may want to have more than one. So typically your team owner is one of a few people. It could be the practice manager, the practice owner, or the primary veterinarian. Usually we recommend this is because the person that owns the team, if you decide to do like the billing for your entire team, everyone's billing is going to be responsible, like the responsibility of those is going to be with that person. So that's why it usually lands with these people. And yeah, we'll go over that a little bit. Another exception is our like enterprise groups. Please just contact us. You can contact your enterprise account manager, or you can contact support and we can get you in touch with them that way. That's a little bit different and we won't be covering that today. Okay, so let's make a team. So you want to click on your teams tab over here, and this is what the page looks like. I have quite a few teams. We're just going to ignore that. I'm going to make a new team for today. So we're going to call this the Wednesday Live Storm. Okay. And then you have this option here. So you have a few ways to invite someone. If you already are on a team with them, you can click this button. You can also send them an invitation link. I guess if you wanted to text it or email it, but usually people use the invite by email option. Just taking a minute.
When that loads, you know my email address off the top of your head.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Okay. While we're waiting for that, when I had mentioned the multi-department hospitals, if the entire hospital is going to be under one billing, then you would need one hospital with everyone on it to make sure to consolidate that. And then we'll show you also how to filter your teams so that you're only seeing your team's cases. Is that right?
That is it.
Okay. All right. And then you have, so you just put the email of the person you want to add to the team. And then you have three options. So you have our unlimited account, our essentials account, and our support account. So usually any of your support staff are going to be under that support tier. There are exceptions. Some of you may want to have your practice manager with a paid account. That's totally up to you. And then I'm just going to select unlimited, and then this is going to come up for you here. So it's going to show you your currency, and then also if you want that person to be paying their own subscription, you're going to check this box. I'm going to check this box so that I don't mess up Dr. Mike's account. So if you want them to be on your billing, do not check that box, okay? And then we're just going to click next, and we're going to go invite. Great. So now you can see that the invite is waiting for a response, and once he accepts,
I'll bring my screen up. Like it's fairly straightforward here, but you guys will notice Rebecca and I might switch screens back and forth during the presentation. I've turned my app into dark mode just so it's a little bit more distinct. But you can see I've received a team invite. There's that little envelope icon. I will have received an email as well with the same, but I can just click on that and I can click accept and I'm on the team. And there you go. So.
Great. Yeah, so that, I mean, the process doesn't change at all. If you have a support person, I'll just do new member and show you quickly. Oops, that's not right. And then when you select that support tier, you don't have any of that payment option because those accounts are free. So it's even easier. So we will leave that one. And yeah, so I guess something that's kind of important, and I went over that a little bit at the start, is that you need to decide who you want that team owner to be kind of before you start. That's going to make it a little bit easier. If you don't, you can assign management to someone. You can give them permission to manage your team. And that can help you as well, but it's just much easier if you have the person who's going to be responsible for all of that just own the team upfront. But if you have any questions with that, just please reach out to us at support@co.vet. And yes, so if you have people who are joining your team that already have their own paid accounts, there are a lot of variations with how we would go about dealing with that. So again, please just contact us at support@co.vet and we can guide you through how to get them onto your billing as smooth as possible. If they're going to be remaining responsible for their own billing, that's easy. You can just check that box and they'll be on their own. And then templates and snippets.
Yeah, I think would be good to cover. So.
Okay. Okay, so when you're on a team, you have a few things that you can share. There's going to be more soon, but right now the biggest things are templates and snippets. So we will, let me see. Not sure. So we will use this one. So when you open up that template, you have all of these buttons here. And the one that we're going to talk about right now is share template. Oh, okay. That's not allowed with that one. Let me see.
Oh, I wonder.
Oh, because it's my, you might have to show that.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's my support account. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Let me switch back here really quickly. Okay. So yeah, if we browse to the template area, I mean, first off, I'll just flag that you can see I already have some shared templates. Now, these are things that I'm either sharing with the rest of my team or things that are being shared with me. So you do get a nice indication here. But if you want to share something that isn't shared already, simply click into it and click on Share Template. And you'll get this new option. And there's basically two ways to share. So you can share with a team or you can share with link or code. And we're talking about teams today, so we'll start here. Basically, all I would need to do is to click on the Wednesday Livestorm team. And I do get the chance to pick a permission level as well. So view only means that Rebecca will be able to see this template and use this template. If I put can edit, it means she can actually edit and change the template. And when you're sharing a template through this My Team function, like it is a linked template. So if I share it today and then change it in a week, it's going to change for Rebecca as well. So this is a good way to keep everybody up to date if you guys are iterating and improving on your templates over time. And again, if you put can edit, it means Rebecca can do the same thing in reverse. The alternative is if you share with link or code, I'll just point this out. Basically, you either copy the link or you copy the code. You can send it to people through email, text message, however you want, and they import it into their account. And when they do that, they're receiving a duplicate. So there's no linkage. If you change your template next week, it will not change for them. Their copy is totally separate and distinct. So that can be useful. And obviously this is kind of your one and only choice for sharing if you are sharing it with somebody who is not on your team. Let's say you have a friend across the country who's using CoVet as well. This is very handy. If you do happen, the link is fairly self-explanatory. When the receiver gets the link, they just click on it and it will open. If you happen to send a code, the place to import that code is under the Add Template button. You simply click down and click on Import with Code. You'll paste it in and it will kind of read whether it's a valid code and give you the basic vital statistics there. So that is one thing that you can share. The other thing you can share are snippets, and you can get there through this sharing center, which is kind of an overview of things that are shared with you. The other option is if you go back here, you can get to it through snippets. So personalization and snippets. And again, it's very similar mechanism in that you can click share and you get that whole idea of with a team versus link or code. So, it's great if somebody puts in the effort to kind of develop these resources that you can multiply it across your team. So, and I think that kind of brings us to the end of like the team setup and the basic stuff, right, Rebecca? Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to workflows, and I guess what I mean by workflow is like, how do you get from the start of the case to the end of the case, right? It can involve inputting materials into your case, whether those are audio recordings or uploading PDFs. It's generating your record. It's exporting to the practice management software. And it's doing all of those things while you're interacting, again, with multiple people potentially. So, you could have 3 people contribute contents or inputs to a case. And you can have people doing this from multiple different devices as well. So like there's all kinds of permutations. And the reason that exists is because we want CoVet to be as flexible as possible and to match any workflow. And I think the way we've architected the system does that quite well. Now, the trick is there is no single best workflow, right? Like it depends on your circumstance. And, we are always happy, both the support team and the medical team, like we're happy to work together with you to try and help you find that best workflow. But I would encourage you to experiment a little bit, and hopefully some of what we'll show you here, especially as we work through the examples, will be helpful. So I guess, in some ways, the bottom line is we're trying to get CoVet to match your day as opposed to you having to change your day to match CoVet, if that makes sense. And one thing that is really important when it comes to sharing cases and fully leveraging teams are using some of the filters up here. So you can see right now that says show cases visible to Wednesday live storm team. Like that's the team that Rebecca just created and invited me to. And we don't have any cases yet because we haven't created them. We're going to do that in a second. But you can see that if I look, I can look at anything that is visible to me, and it all of a sudden brings up a whole bunch of other cases that are on the go. And likewise, you can go through and filter to different teams. You can actually, for some of these, if you have multiple users under it, you can look not just only at cases visible to that team, but cases visible to one specific person on that team. I don't know if Lee has any cases open today. It doesn't look like it. So that is a really important concept. And we call it case visibility. Visibility is a little bit of a misnomer, and we potentially will change this over time, but it's honestly more about case access. So somebody who can see the case is able to view the contents, but they can actually contribute to the case as well. So it's basically anybody that has visibility has both read and write access to a case. Now, one thing that is nice, and I think I have an example here, if you have multiple people contributing to a case. So this is kind of a more complicated case. And for those of you who are new, don't worry, you don't have to have a case this complicated, but you can see there's a whole bunch of contents that have been added here. But basically, sorry, that's not the right case. The right case is Rufus. So what I want to point out here is that you can see in both this first recording and this first record that's been created, it has a different username here. I don't see the usernames on all of this stuff because I'm the person who created them, right? If it's you, it doesn't show up. But if it's anybody else, it is visible here. So I can tell that Kevin, my technician, both created a recording and created a document. And again, then they can hand it off to me. Rebecca and I will demonstrate this later. So that's just something I wanted to point out is that naming. And you can also, under the settings area, click here and go case activity. And it basically shows you a list of everything that happened. So we've got Kevin down there again, a bunch of me and a bunch of my other colleague, Mike, there as well. So, so that gives you visibility into who's doing what. There is another important concept. So when you're on the case page, like your main filter is this whole visibility thing, right? Who can see it, who can interact with it. When you're actually inside the case, you can change the visibility, right? So if I want to make this visible to a different team or multiple teams, I can do that simply by clicking here and setting the visibility. I can also set it to private. So if it is something that's sensitive and you don't want your team to see it, private visibility is the way to go. But the other thing that's important is that this is assigned to me. Another way of thinking of this is basically who owns the case. And again, we'll see that in some examples, but I wanted to flag those two properties and those two features because they are very important for everything you do in terms of leveraging teams and moving information back and forth between two people. So with that said, Rebecca, do you want to go into kind of the maybe the general practice scenario?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, before I move my screen off the main share here, I'm just going to go over to the Livestorm team page, and I guess we've got one case there. Maybe I think I must have, I think I clicked something. But Rebecca's going to create a new case here and share it with the team. So let's see if we can get your screen back up. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we'll do the Wednesday Livestorm team.
Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong team. My bad.
That's okay.
Forgot it was Wednesday. Okay, thank you.
All right. I will. Okay, so I'm acting as the support account in this scenario. So I'm just going to click new case. So if you're on multiple teams, you will have this to filter. So I'm going to choose our Wednesday Livestorm team, and I'm going to assign that case to Mike because I already know that he's going to be the doctor looking after this patient.
And I just add, like, this is a scenario, like I said, a team medicine scenario, right? Like Rebecca and I are working together. She's going into the room, collecting a patient history, and then I'm kind of waltzing in and doing my thing after that. So I think a pretty common workflow out there, especially in general practice.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to do a quick recording. All right. So today we're seeing Ozzy. He's here for annual and vaccines. He's due for lepto and rabies today. We're also going to run a 40X and we're going to send him home with some spectra for the season. Owner has no complaints and heart rate was 72, rest rate was 28, and temperature was 37.5. Okay. And so it's just transcribing there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this button, which is going to give, I mean, that was a pretty short history, but it's going to give just a kind of an organized view for Dr. Mike to look at before he goes into that appointment.
And I wonder, can you go back to the previous screen? So just for everybody, we could sit here and wait for the document to generate, but just while we're waiting, I'll point out so Rebecca used that history and vitals report button, which is kind of a dedicated template, and you'll see another version of that in a second. But I'll point out the other blue button next to it as well, where it says generate from case owner library. So like a support account is a little bit different than a paid account, right? These are free accounts meant for support staff. They cannot own and customize templates, but they can leverage templates in the account that they are supporting. So if Rebecca were to click that generate from library button, like she can view all of the templates in my account and run any one of them. And I think that's important. Again, this history and vitals is kind of dedicated to, this history collection idea, but there are a lot of cases where a veterinarian will delegate to their support staff the creation of all sorts of documents. And again, it's that generate from case owner library button that you're going to want to use in those cases. So sorry to jump in there, Rebecca. I'll pass it back to you.
No, that's okay. And so this is what that document looks like. Obviously, if I had given it more information, there would be more information here. And it did grab those vitals that I verbalized here. The reason that it says this, even though I didn't comment on mucous membranes, is just because that is the only vital with a default normal, and I have default normals turned on. So that's why that's there. And Mike will be able to see this on his account. And then he's ready to do his consultation.
Yeah. So let's again, I'm going to switch it back. So we're going to flip back to my account, right? So I'm the veterinarian. I'm waltzing into the room, and I'll point out two things. So number one, that case that Rebecca created and the recording that she added is already automatically in my case. And the reason it is here, so you can see again, Rebecca Dunn there for the recording and the document. It's because this case is shared with the Wednesday team, and I'm part of the Wednesday team, so I can basically pick it up at any point and start running with it. The other thing that I think is worth mentioning, so like what devices are we recording on, right? Like obviously for this webinar, we're both sitting in front of our computers at our desk, but in the clinic, you might use different recording devices. And again, there's no right or wrong answer here, but in general, if you don't know what recording device to use your mobile phone. anything that you see us doing on the desktop computer can be done on a mobile device. And the microphones on modern smartphones are actually quite good. So just hit record, put it down on the counter, try not to let the cat knock it off the counter. And as long as that doesn't happen, you should be good. I'd hesitate to have you like put it in your pocket because often it compromises audio quality. You get a lot of rustling and stuff like that. So that's kind of the easiest way. And you know, the simplest kind of devices to choose might be using your smartphone in the room to record. But then when it comes time to like review your records and move them into the practice management software, you probably want to do that on a desktop computer. So you just open CoVet on the web browser in the doctor's office, and everything you did on your phone will magically be there. So that's one way you can use devices. I mean, another scenario is, let's say we're in the exam room and you know, we have a computer in the exam room. If it's a desktop or laptop, the microphone probably isn't great, but you can get an external microphone, and we are happy to send them to you for free. Like, we'll send every subscriber a microphone. This looks like one of those conference room mics that sits in the middle of a conference table, but you just plug it into the computer via USB, and now all of a sudden you have kind of a dedicated listening station right in the room. And you know, again, in a lot of cases, especially with support accounts, that's what clinics will do, as opposed to having technicians use personal devices. There are some clinics that have like a communal cell phone or a communal iPad that can be used for recording as well. And then when I waltz into the room to do the veterinary part, I can kind of make a choice. If Rebecca's logged in to the computer, we can just click record again, and I can be the one talking in the room, but her account is the one recording. Now, you know, the catch is the recording will say that it was created by Rebecca. As long as you're aware of who's who, I think that's okay. I mean, alternatively, I can come into the room and either sign into my account or on the desktop, which would probably frankly be a bit of a pain, or I could have my phone. One thing that is maybe worth pointing out, and we didn't have this in our outline, Rebecca, but I think it's a good chance. If you notice, there's this little switch arrow next to my name here. And it's possible that you don't have this yet, but it's a relatively new feature called account switching. And when you set it up correctly, basically it gives you another login, log out option. And you click that, and you'll see that we've kind of pre-approved certain people that are able to switch accounts here. And I'll show you where the settings are to enable this. But basically, you know, if I'm logged into the computer, but all of a sudden Kevin walks into the room, he just has to click on Kevin, put in a PIN number that is specific to him, and go switch accounts. And it kind of logs you out of my account, logs into Kevin's account, and you're good to go. There is a feature right now, this screen doesn't lock automatically. Like it won't get you to this PIN number screen automatically, but that is something that we're going to implement. You'll be able to set a timer of 5, 10, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever you want, where automatically the screen will change to this. And so whoever walks up will be forced to either put in a PIN number or fully log out. So for those of you who do want to set that up, the way you get to it is you just click on your name and you go down here to account switching. And what you need to do is, number one, you need to toggle it on so that the feature is on. Number two, you need to set a PIN number. And then number three, you need to select which teams are able to kind of use the account switching. So again, as Rebecca mentioned off the top, like if you're at a regular kind of general practice clinic or even certain emergency clinics, like there may only be one team, you can select the whole team, or you can actually select individual users if you want as well. So yeah, anyway, that account switching I think is something that would be useful. But here we are, we're back at the case. You know, what I could do, like if Rebecca's doing that recording, I could be sitting in the doctor's office and see this pop up and click into it and basically see the history report probably before Rebecca's even walked down the hall to come and talk to me. But more likely we'll have a little bit of a huddle. This is just nice in that it's kind of given us a writing base to start from. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of record the physical exam here. So I'm just going to go new recording. I might say Ozzy is a mixed breed dog, and he's 10 kilograms. I noticed that we didn't get that in the initial history, which is totally fine. But he's generally a well patient. He's got moderate periodontal disease. Otherwise, he looks healthy. We talked to them about doing a dental procedure. I'm going to follow up in 2 days, sending them an estimate for a dental cleaning. We don't expect any extractions. We did give him a rabies vaccine on the right hind leg. It's good for 3 years. We gave him a lepto vaccine on the left hind leg. It's good for 1 year. And we did prescribe NexGard Spectra, 1 tablet once a month for 6 months. And we did the 4DX in-house, and it was negative. So I am going to, actually what I'll do, I'm going to click the stop button there. This is an extra little shortcut for you guys. So some of you might not have that stop button. You might only have the pause button. And basically, if you click pause, it will stop the recording. And then you can use any of your buttons up here to generate a template. But the stop button, if you have that enabled, actually can trigger either your favorite template. So in this case, I have 2 favorite templates, the SOAP and the email, or it can trigger your default template. And so basically by clicking that stop button, I'm doing 3 actions in one. I'm stopping the recording and I'm generating 2 separate templates. And when you look at this template, you'll see a couple of things. So basically the most important thing is that it's actually capturing information both from Rebecca's initial recording and from my recording. So things like the temperature, pulse, respiration that she mentioned off the top are in here. It's added, the 10 kilograms that I mentioned and the periodontal disease and the test results. So basically it is a way of taking both of those recordings done by 2 different people and creating a single record. So I think that is maybe a good place to pause. I suspect most of you are familiar with the fact that from here, you might want to export this document to your practice management software, and we'll go through that flow in just a second. But are there any questions for us, Rebecca? No? Okay, so
no, not yet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, again, we find one of the most efficient workflows is to have a member of the support staff kind of do the history part and pass it off to the vet. I can then export this record myself, or there are some clinics that will delegate it back to the support staff. So it could be that same technician, or it could be somebody at the front desk. And basically the idea here is that I've glanced over the record, I'm happy with it, I can make edits if I want, and then I'm going to use a status badge. And the status badges are important. It basically signals to anybody on the team that this record has been approved and it's ready for export. And basically that's all I have to do in this case. Like Rebecca and I have already communicated this. When things are ready, I'm just going to pass it back to her. So yeah, we'll flip back to Rebecca's screen there. There we go.
All right, and I'm already in the Export Center, but to get here, it's in your sidebar, so you can just click Export Center, and you can filter, you can look at all of your contents. I have today selected. I also have our Wednesday live storm selected here as well. So there are some still for review documents, but the one that Dr. Mike selected as ready for export is over here. So I can see that. I can either copy by section. I can also copy all, so the whole entire document. I can download it as a PDF if that's the way that you guys are moving to your practice management software. And then once I have moved all of that, I can mark this as exported, and then now the ready column is empty and it's over here under exported. If you have a connection or an integration with us, it would be a little bit different for you. And actually, Mike, I might let you speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually, like what Rebecca's shown you, that export center, I think is a good way for somebody who is responsible for kind of viewing and keeping their eye open for one veterinarian or multiple veterinarians who are marking these states as ready. So again, you basically sit on this export center and you just hover on this ready status and wait for stuff to show up here. What Rebecca is mentioning is like one thing that's not available here yet are the option to export via a practice management software integration. You can get to it pretty efficiently. So if there's anything here, you basically just use this go to case button, but you'll notice that when you get to the case, so you can, again, export by copy paste either from the export center or from inside a record. You just have your copy paste buttons there. But when you're in the case, or when you're, sorry, I should say, when you're in the document, there is also this button up here. So it's an export to your practice management software. Now, obviously, this requires that you have the practice management software integration set up. But the beauty of having an integration set up is kind of twofold. So number one, it helps to populate this case page. Like, it will automatically read the appointment book in the practice management software and have those cases appear here so they're ready before you even start your day. And that would be true for both Rebecca and I if the cases are set as being visible to our team. And so that's one benefit. The other benefit is that because by the time the case is created, like, it's already linked up to the practice management software. When I click into the document and I click export to Instinct or CoVet or whatever it is, Avimark, Cornerstone, it goes to the right patient. Like, it knows exactly where the information goes. So it is the most efficient way to export, but I realize some of you might not have integration set up yet. If you need any help with that, or you have questions about it, just send us a note. Excuse me, support@co.vet. So, and I think once that's exported, like that kind of goes through this general practice workflow that we've been talking about. Why don't we rewind to the start and do the emergency case, Rebecca? Sound good? Yeah. Oh, you're on. I think you're on mute, Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's going to be kind of the same workflow. I'll point out the differences as we go. So I'm going to click new case again. I'm going to select that Wednesday live storm team, but this time, because we're in an emergency situation, I don't know which doctor is going to be able to see the case. I'm just going to click unassigned and then save. So it's going to be basically the same. So I'm going to start my recording and I'm going to say we're seeing Ricky today. He's a 30 kilogram hound mix. He's presenting for non-weight bearing lameness in the left hind leg. Mucous membranes, pink, less than 2 seconds. Rest rate is slightly elevated at 36. Heart rate is 68. Temperature was normal at 37.4. And he does seem painful. And the owners aren't sure what happened. They just kind of had him come back to the door from being outside, and he was lame like this. So I'm going to pause that. And then this time, the difference that I'm going to do is I'm going to use our triage template. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to generate. And it's basically the same thing as the history and vitals report that we use, but it's catered specifically for emergency hospitals and situations. So once that is ready, Dr. Mike will be able to see that in his unassigned pile.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. So first off, I'm just answering a quick question from Elizabeth. Which PIMs are currently integrated with CoVet? Correct me if I'm wrong. I answered Elizabeth. I have to put post question as well, Rebecca. Is that right? To have it visible to everybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind.
I think I see it.
So, okay. Bottom line is I lose track of all the integrations because there's a lot of them and they're constantly releasing new ones. So my best advice, the way I've gotten to this page and the link that I put in the question should get you right there, but just click on your name, click on integrations, and you can basically view a whole list there. And if there's something that you don't see that you would like to see, you can use something called the Chrome extension as well. You can also vote for other practice management softwares. And I'll just flag, the Chrome extension is basically a little mini version of CoVet. So it's kind of like the export center screen that Rebecca sent. Like you can't record here. You can preview records, but I wouldn't do editing here or anything. But it's really like a copy paste center. And the idea is if you picture this main web page as being a web-based practice management software, it means that you can have your patient file in your PMS right here. And I can basically view, and again, you're going to have filters for teams and different statuses and that kind of stuff. But once you find the right document, you can either copy and paste section by section, or in most cases, you can go copy all and just copy the whole document. There are actually some practice management softwares where we have something called a connection. So it's not quite a true integration, but essentially the practice management, or sorry, the CoVet Chrome extension can read the web page, and you can map all of these different sections to that web page, and you do the mapping once, and then you end up with this magic copy button that just automatically moves all of the contents into the right boxes. It's pretty slick. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to visit this integrations page. And if you think the Chrome extension could be useful, just click that button and it will bring you to where you need to go. So back to the cases. So basically, Rebecca has created this case, and right now it's unassigned. So I can, sorry, it was Ricky that you created, right? This is, yeah. So I can see it here, not because I own the case, but because it's visible to the team and I'm on the team, right? So you can actually see here, this one is assigned to me. I'm the case owner of Ozzy that we were dealing with earlier. I can see Ricky, but it's not assigned to me yet. Now, another way, like especially if you have like, I don't know, a whole bunch of cases here, and I'll point out too, maybe one little trick for people. If you don't realize this, there are two ways to view this screen. So I'm viewing it with tiles here, but you can actually switch it to a list. Some people prefer the list view. Frankly, a lot of times when I'm in clinic, I actually use this list view. And one other little workflow hack as well, if you click on this check mark button, basically it allows you to select multiple cases. So I could have like, I don't know, I had a hectic morning. I've got 5 cases. I haven't generated records on any of them. I can come here and click this, select all of the cases, and I can generate my default template for each and every one of them. I can generate my favorite templates. Some people will archive cases. I tend not to. Like I rely on kind of the status icon. So, oh, sorry, get rid of that. Basically, oh, so that one is exported. The reason our case status hasn't changed is because we have that second one. But if those are both at exported, I can kind of tell on the case screen. We have, oh, we had another one in there. This one, there is, so you'll remember that this was kind of an interim document. Like I read it, I consumed it. I'm not actually going to move this into the practice management software because everything that it contains is also contained here. So this one I'm actually going to move to not for export. And that's a bug that shouldn't say generated. We'll have to make a note of that. But anyway, once that is done, I think the bug, no, the bug isn't affecting it. So this case is exported. I kind of know it's done. If I want things to be even cleaner, I can archive it and it just disappears. Now, archiving is not deleting. It's not the same thing. You can always go back and using your filters, see the archived cases and you can unarchive as well. So there you go. Let's clear the filter. No output filter is a way to see any case that doesn't have an output created on it. So just another option for filtering. And back to the main thing we were talking about, which is Ricky. So like I said, Ricky is unassigned. If I have a bunch of cases and this is a crowded page, I can look at this unassigned area. It wasn't there before, but as soon as there is an unassigned case present for the team that you are viewing, this will pop up. And again, the idea here, if I'm a veterinarian working in emergency and there's like 6 unassigned cases, I can click in here and I can quickly glance over what the different cases are, what the problem is, and I can pick one and assign it to myself, and I can walk into the room and start working with it. And now, because it is assigned, it has disappeared from that unassigned place. So that's kind of how the assignment works. Again, now that this case is mine, or even before it's mine, I can go in, I can generate more recordings and create more documents. But we did that on last case, so I don't think we need to show that here. But any questions about kind of unassigned cases? And maybe I'll show ongoing cases as well. Might be another thing just before we check for questions. So this is another kind of related emergency specific workflow trick. But right now, like if we look at Ricky's case, it's appearing today on April 15th. If I go to tomorrow, it's gone. If I go to the previous day, it's gone. So hopefully with a non-weight bearing lameness, Ricky is leaving the hospital today, but I don't know, let's say it's a broken leg and he needs surgery or something like that. So if he is going to be hospitalized, one thing I can do is click on the date and toggle on this multi-day case feature. So what this means is Ricky is going to kind of end up in a special place on the case page, and I'll show you that in a minute. Right now, his case was still created on April 15th. I don't know what the end date is yet. I can put in an end date, but I'm going to do that later when I know when he's leaving. So the idea is now that Ricky is an ongoing case, we have this special area that has shown up and it's ongoing cases. And the other thing is, so I can find Ricky there and all my other ongoing cases. The other thing is, if I flip forward to tomorrow or the next day or the day after that, like Ricky's always going to be there until he leaves the hospital. And what I can do is I can always set an end date. So I can set it right here, basically in this, in this ongoing cases area. The other thing is you can click into the case and just enter an end date here. Why is that? Okay, I'm not sure why that's not working. Let's do it this way. There we go. So now that it's ended, you'll see that Ricky has disappeared from those days. So any questions about that kind of stuff? The emergency specific unassigned cases, multi-day cases, that kind of thing?
Sorry, my internet cut out and I was frozen. What did you say?
Well, I was just wondering whether there were any questions, but I'm looking myself. I don't think so. I see that you'd answered Christine's question about the AVImark integration. There have been some improvements with the AVImark and Cornerstone integrations recently, so and we will continue to make more improvements. So, so then let's do the large animal scenario. So, I think a couple things here. Like I can just click in here and go new case and start recording. If you are on the road and you have spotty internet connection, you might want to use offline mode. And so this is something you can access it here on your web browser, but obviously if you don't have an internet connection, you can't get to the web browser, but it's always available on mobile, regardless of whether you have internet access or not. And CoVet can actually turn offline mode on automatically when it detects that the internet signal drops. But if you know you're going to be in and out and in and out and in and out of service, I would recommend actually turning it on in advance. And what offline mode does is here, we'll turn it on. So I'm going to click on my name. I'm going to click on offline mode and I'm going to go activate. And so offline mode is now active. I can return to working online, but before I do that, I'm going to add a recording. And so basically it allows me to like make a recording and store it. I can't do a lot more with it at this point. Like you need internet connectivity to generate a record and do other things, but it at least allows you to save information. So somebody who's on the road and in offline mode, they can like record. And then as soon as they get to, they go to a coffee shop or something like that to take a break, they can upload everything and generate all the records they need. But we'll just say, there There we go. Okay. So let's say we're looking at Thunder, 9-year-old quarter horse gelding presented for right forelimb lameness after barrel racing a few days ago. He's bright and alert, grade 2 out of 5, right forelimb lameness. He's got a mild increase in digital pulses. There's some focal pain on hoof testers over the right front medial hoof. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm not an equine vet, by the way. I'll throw that out there. But let's say maybe there's some sole bruising or possibly an abscess or something like that going on. Maybe there's a more traumatic injury. So we're going to give him some phenylbutazone and recommend a farrier evaluation. And if it doesn't resolve in the next few days, we're going to recommend a recheck. So I will pause that recording. This little clock will show me the timer as I'm recording if I want it. I optionally have a name for the recording if I want. So I'll just say Thunder Consult. We'll go save. And basically this recording is now kind of banked to my account. And again, I can't do much with it until I return to working online. I can add more recordings if I'm going on to the next visit. But what I'll do, I'll return to working online. And I will mention at the same time, we're going to be revising offline mode soon. I think this workflow is going to be even more seamless. But for now, what you'll want to do is basically assign the case. And when I click assign, if there's already an existing case for Thunder, I can put it there. But in this case, I'm just going to create a new case and I'm going to go continue. I'm going to automatically name the case based on the contents of the recording. CoVet does that automatically unless you want to overwrite it. And I'll go confirm. We'll wait for a minute. And then we'll go find that case. So it's this one that says new case. It hasn't named yet because the recording literally just landed. So it does have to transcribe and think for a moment. And there you go. The name has clicked in there. So now that I'm back online, I can go on and create kind of my, I don't know, let's go, well, I'm going to go into the library and I will maybe flag while we're looking at the library again, before when we generated some records, I was using shortcut buttons and I do recommend leveraging those. Like if you're always using one template or a handful of templates, these are your fastest access areas and you can set your favorites and your defaults in the template area. But if you want to browse the full library, the only thing I would flag is note that there are differences here. Like you can look at all templates, which will show you even templates you have hidden. If you want to hide a bunch of templates so you don't have as long a list as I do, like I've got a really long list here, but if you're using 5 of them, you just hide the rest of them. And then if you look at visible templates, you'll get a nice concise list. Obviously, don't miss the fact that you've got multiple tabs here. So records, emails, and summaries. And I'm just going to look for my equine lameness exam. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to go generate. And the thing here is I think, you know, in some of these scenarios, like this vet is on the road and you know, maybe they don't have a chance to generate this record, or maybe they're relying on somebody back at the office to help them out with billing and sending an invoice so they don't forget to do anything. So for that part, we'll switch back to Rebecca's screen and we'll take a look. Now, so I haven't actually, I'm going to share this. I guess I'm sharing it with everybody right now. It's really the live stream one. I'm not going to go through the trouble of unsetting the other team. So we'll just leave it at everybody for now, but Rebecca should be able to see it there.
Okay, so I can see Thunder here. So if I click into it, I can see the document. I can also see the recording. And I can also see tasks and billing. So this is based on what's in the recording. So we have to bill for some drugs that were dispensed, as well as the actual examination. So far, we don't have anything to do yet because it's based on the owner's evaluation. If Thunder needs a recheck, they're going to be reaching out to us. And then I don't know.
And I think, I mean, that's kind of the main thing, right? Like the to-do list that Rebecca was referring to, if I had said, for instance, we are going to follow up with the owner in 2 days or something like that, it would have, and I should have worded it differently next time, but it would show up automatically. And again, if Rebecca's sitting in front of the practice management software, she can use that as a memory aid. And maybe if you go back to the tasks for a second, Rebecca, but basically she can check those things off. So like her and I have not spoken. She's just seen this record show up, but she can automatically go in here, look at this again. These billing items aren't integrated with the practice management software yet at this stage, but it's kind of a memory cue. So as Rebecca enters the charges, and if she wants to see the weight or the amount, she can go and look at the record to get that information. She can just check them off one at a time or click mark all as completed. Same thing goes with the to-do list. Like if it was, send client this information or enter a follow-up in 2 days, Rebecca can execute on those while I'm still out on the road on the way to my next visit. So, I think that kind of covers it. I know actually we're very close to time, so we don't have a ton of time. I just say in summary, like I think if you're using CoVet and you have multiple people at the clinic, it's worth setting up a team. You want to set it up intentionally with, basically think of who the team leader should be to start. And it's usually somebody in a management role or an ownership role that is dealing with billing. Be mindful that there's a lot of flexibility in terms of workflows, both, sharing cases between teammates and sharing cases between devices and things like that. And if you need help with any of it, again, hopefully this webinar has helped a little bit, or feel free to reach out to us at support@co.vet. But I guess with that being said, are there any last questions before we sign off? I don't see anything waiting there, but no?
I don't see anything, no.
Okay, perfect. Anyway, maybe Rebecca, you have a little housekeeping to wrap it up?
Yeah, again, we did record the session, so very soon you guys will get a link to watch it back if you weren't able to stay or whatever the circumstances may be. And we host these fairly often. If you go to our Livestorm page, you can register for past and future events. There you go. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time out to watch this. We appreciate it and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.